Hi, I'm Jarrett Warner. This is my discussion one for Ag Ed 101. A teacher that has an authentic desire to teach can make a difficult subject fun and interesting to a group of students. When a teacher possesses a true desire and passion for teaching, they can change the likely outcome of a class. For instance, I once had a teacher who loved plants so much that often while talking about plants, he would have to untie his bow tie because he started to sweat. This teacher would get so into his lesson that he would have to stop and take a few seconds to catch his breath. This teacher had a passion for plants and teaching students about plants that was unmatched by anyone else in the building. Multiple times throughout the year, he would have lessons where that were built so well that every single student would be fully captivated by the words he was saying. This teacher also possessed a trust with his students that is unmatched by most. One of the first things that he told us in the class was that he wanted us to trust him. He asked for our trust, and that was the best way for him to build our trust. A school's climate can have an impact on everyone involved with the school. A school's climate is based around the overall attitude that the school has. Are teachers happy to be here? Are students happy to be here? A school with a positive climate is welcoming and open to everyone, whereas a school with a negative or harsher climate may be off-putting to students and teachers. A school that has a negative climate will look and feel different. A school with a positive climate is a better learning environment for students as well. The climate can be affected by the school's leadership. Let's say a school's leadership is like the baby Jesus scene from Talladega Nights. One type of climate is from Cal Naughton Jr., who says, "I like to picture my Jesus in a tuxedo t-shirt because it's formal, but it also says, I'm here to party." And the other type is like Uncle Chip, who sternly says, "Jesus was a man. He had a beard." Cal's climate is more welcoming to ideas and thoughts such as learning, while Uncle Chip's climate is seemingly harsh and unwelcoming to other ideas. A school culture is also an important factor. Each school has a culture that can be affected by the school and as a whole. Some schools have a culture that is directed towards academics. Others may have a focus on community outreach or building people who are ready to go out into the working world. For example, a school such as the North Carolina School of Science and Math is going to have a harder and much heavier focus on academics than a school such as mine, which is a rural 4-H high school, which had focuses on softball, football, and FFA. Some teachers are born to teach, and some just seem to fall into it. I have met teachers who come from a long line of teachers and say that it's just in their blood. But I've also had teachers who said they didn't plan to become a teacher and just fell in love with teaching others. For me, it feels like a little bit of both. I didn't plan on doing ag education when I started. I started college to learn to grow flowers in a greenhouse. But throughout my time in college, I began to enjoy helping others learn and understand. I first noticed this enjoyment of teaching while being an ambassador for my program. Every week I would lead a group of high school students and their parents around campus and tell them about the school and what the program had to offer. I found that I enjoyed sharing my knowledge with them. But I also feel that this calling that I have to be a teacher may be a little bit more deep embedded than I thought. My aunt and uncle were both principals. My step-grandmother was a former professor at UGA, along with being the former dean of a community college. And my grandfather was also a teacher for many years. Having teachers around wasn't something I ever thought about, but it could possibly have a bit of an impact on my decision. I personally felt that the story about reflecting on teaching every day was the biggest one to me. In the story, Brendan Wolschlatter teaches 9th and 11th grade English at Thousand Oaks High School in California. She talks about reflecting on teaching every day and attempting to look at things from the student's perspective. She said that when she plans out a lesson, she will look at the material from the point of view that the student would have. This resonates with me because I like to look at both sides of something before I make a decision. If there's a dispute between two people, I always listen to both sides of the story and attempt to see it from both angles. This helps me gain clarity on the situation. I've also had teachers, mostly in college, who do not appear to see it from the student's point of view. From the student's point of view, they have an expectation that students should know the material before they enter the room. They also don't seem to comprehend when students don't understand what they are saying. Multiple times I have thought, they've been doing this stuff for so long that they don't understand that I don't understand. In their head, they are thinking, this stuff is so easy, how could you not understand? But they are an expert in their field and have been doing this stuff for much longer than I have. I feel that if they took the time to reflect on the situation and look at it from my perspective, they could see that I am new to the material and need help with learning.